Welcome to the Vedic Mystics channel. In our journey through common yogas, today we explore a fascinating one, Neechabhanga Raja Yoga. This powerful yoga can turn weakness into strength, transforming a debilitated planet, Neecha, into one that bestows royal like success, Raja Yoga. But how does this transformation happen? What are the conditions that lift a fallen planet and grant it newfound power? In this video, we'll analyze two example charts, one where debilitation is successfully cancelled, another where it isn't. We'll also dive deep into each planet's debilitation and the unique planetary alignments that can reverse its weakness. In Vedic astrology, three key grahas can help uplift a debilitated planet and mitigate its weakness. The first is its dispositor, or the ruler of the sign where the debilitated planet is placed. Its strength and placement can counteract debilitation. The second is the planet that finds exaltation in the debilitated planet's sign, as its influence can provide a balancing force. The third is the ruler of the exaltation sign of the debilitated planet, which can also lend support in reversing its weakness. Additionally, the house placement of the debilitated planet plays a crucial role where certain houses can naturally elevate a planet's strength, reducing or even cancelling its debilitation. Understanding these factors help us determine whether a planet's weakness remains or transforms into a source of power through Neechabhanga Raja Yoga. Different Vedic astrology texts offer varying combinations for the formation of Neechabhanga Raja Yoga. The following combinations are derived from Phaladipika. For this yoga to manifest, at least one of the key grahas, the debilitated planet, its sign lord, the planet exalted in its sign of debilitation, or the lord of its exaltation sign, must be positioned in a kendra, which is the first, fourth, seventh, or 10th houses, from either the moon or the ascendant. This yoga can form when the lord of the debilitated planet directly aspects the debilitated graha as well. The final combination is the mutual kendra placement between the lord of the debilitated planet and the lord of the exaltation sign of the debilitated graha. As you can see, Neechabhanga Raja Yoga can manifest in multiple ways, and its strength depends on the number of supporting combinations present in a chart. The more cancellation factors at play, the greater the impact of this yoga. In other words, a chart with 4 or 5 cancellation combinations is far more powerful than one with just a single cancellation. When multiple conditions work together, the debilitated planet gains significant strength, increasing the likelihood that it will fully deliver the royal benefits associated with this yoga. The stronger the Neechabhanga, the more profound its influence, potentially elevating the individual to great success and prominence. Our first example chart is that of Albert Einstein, a name synonymous with intelligence. However, when we examine his chart, we see something surprising. Mercury, the planet of intellect, is debilitated in Pisces. At first glance, this seems contradictory. Could there be an error in Einstein's chart? Not at all. This is where Neechabhanga Raja Yoga comes into play. transforming a seemingly weak Mercury into a powerful force. To understand this cancellation, let's identify the key planets involved. The debilitated Graha is Mercury, which is debilitated in Pisces. The Lord of Pisces is Jupiter. The planet that finds exaltation in Pisces is Venus. Lastly, Mercury itself is exalted in Virgo, making its own dispositor Mercury once again. Thus, the crucial planets to analyze for Neechabhanga in Einstein's chart are Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus. Now, let's explore how these planetary alignments contribute to the cancellation of Mercury's debilitation and enhance Einstein's intellectual brilliance. Einstein's chart exhibits four powerful Neechabhanga yoga combinations, significantly strengthening his debilitated Mercury and enhancing his intellectual brilliance. First, Venus is positioned in a Kendra, the 10th house, from the ascendant, fulfilling one key cancellation condition. Second, Jupiter is in a Kendra, the 4th house, from the moon, further aiding the debilitation reversal. Third, Mercury itself contributes two combinations. One, simply by being the debilitated Graha in a Kendra from the ascendant, and another by being the lord of its own exaltation sign and occupying a Kendra from the ascendant. Additionally, his chart features a Parivartana Yoga between Jupiter and Saturn, a particularly potent combination as it involves the ninth and 10th lords, forming a strong Dharma Karmadipati Yoga. If we place Jupiter back in Pisces, two more Neechabhanga factors emerge. Jupiter would directly aspect Mercury, further strengthening it, and Jupiter would move into a Kendra from the ascendant, adding yet another layer of cancellation. With these multiple layers of Neechabhanga, Einstein's debilitated Mercury not only overcomes its weakness but transforms into a source of extraordinary intelligence and a lasting legacy, showcasing the true power of this yoga. The second example is a chart of Logan Paul, the famous social media personality who gained fame through Vine and YouTube. Much like Einstein, Logan Paul's chart also features a debilitated Mercury. The planets that can help cancel this debilitation are the same as those in Einstein's chart: Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus. When we analyze Logan Paul's chart for the Neechabhanga Raja Yoga cancellation combinations, we find that none of the typical factors are present. Mercury is placed in the third house from the ascendant and the 12th house from the moon, neither of which fulfills the condition for cancellation. Similarly, Venus is in the second house from the ascendant and the 11th house from the moon, while Jupiter is in the 11th house from the ascendant and the 8th house from the moon. Additionally, Jupiter does not aspect Mercury, and Mercury and Jupiter are not in mutual kendras. It's quite rare for a planet to have no cancellation combinations, which implies that Mercury in Logan Paul's chart is truly debilitated without any compensatory factors. This aligns with the fact that Logan Paul is not widely recognized for academic or intellectual achievements in the traditional sense. In contrast, while Einstein and Logan Paul share the same debilitated Mercury, the Neechabhanga Raja Yoga in Einstein's chart dramatically transforms the impact of Mercury. In Einstein's case, the debilitation is counterbalanced by multiple cancellation combinations, making Mercury a source of exceptional intelligent brilliance. Meanwhile, Logan Paul's Mercury remains debilitated, and his success is more rooted in creativity, entrepreneurialism, and social intelligence rather than traditional intellect. Thus, the presence or absence of cancellation combinations drastically alters the role and outcome of Mercury in their charts. Next, we look at cancellation factors for each of the grahas, starting with the Sun. Sun is debilitated in Libra. The grahas that can support its debilitation are Sun, the debilitated graha itself, Venus, the owner of Libra, Saturn, the graha exalted in Libra, and Mars, the lord of the exaltation sign of the Sun. Venus and Mars in mutual kendras and a Venus aspect on the Sun round out the possible combinations. For the Moon, it is debilitated in Scorpio. The grahas that can support its debilitation are Moon, the debilitated graha itself, Mars, the owner of Scorpio, and Venus, the lord of the exaltation sign of the Moon. Mars and Venus in mutual kendras and a Mars aspect onto the Moon round out the possible combinations. Note, in the case of the Moon, there is no graha exalted in Scorpio. Mars is debilitated in Cancer. The grahas that can support its debilitation are Mars, the debilitated graha itself, Moon, the owner of Cancer, Jupiter, the graha exalted in Cancer, and Saturn, the lord of the exaltation sign of Mars. Moon and Saturn in mutual kendra, and a Moon aspect on Mars round out the possibilities. Mercury, we have already seen in great detail. The supporting grahas are Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus. Jupiter and Mercury in mutual kendras, and Jupiter's aspect on Mercury help cancel Mercury's debilitation. For Jupiter, it is debilitated in Capricorn. The grahas that can support its debilitation are Jupiter, the debilitated graha itself, Saturn, the lord of Capricorn, Mars, the exalted graha in Capricorn, and Moon, the lord of the exaltation sign of Jupiter. Saturn and Moon in mutual kendras and Saturn's aspect on Jupiter cover the possibilities. For Venus, it is debilitated in Virgo. The grahas that can support its debilitation are Venus, the debilitated graha itself, Mercury, the lord of Virgo, and the exalted lord in Virgo, and Jupiter, the lord of the exaltation sign of Venus. Mercury and Jupiter in mutual kendras, and Mercury's aspect on Venus round out the possibilities. Last but not least, Saturn is debilitated in Aries. The grahas that can support its debilitation are Saturn, the debilitated graha itself, Mars, the lord of Aries, Sun, the graha exalted in Aries, and Venus, the lord of the exaltation sign of Saturn. Mars and Venus in mutual kendras and Mars aspecting Saturn help create Neechabhanga Raja Yoga conditions. In conclusion, Neechabhanga Raja Yoga is one of the most desirable combinations you can encounter in a chart when a debilitated graha is present. It's like a hidden gem that, when activated, has the power to transform a weak planet into a powerful force. In most cases, you might spot one or two cancellation combinations, giving the debilitated planet some relief. However, for this yoga to truly manifest as a Raja Yoga, one that brings about royal success and recognition, I would recommend at least four or more cancellation combinations. The more layers of cancellation factors present, the stronger the impact of the debilitation reversal, elevating the planet to new heights of influence in the individual's life. Just like we saw with Einstein and Logan Paul, where this exact same debilitated Mercury manifested very differently depending on the presence of cancellation factors, The power of Neechabhanga Raja Yoga lies in the unique planetary alignments that can elevate an individual from struggles to remarkable achievements. The more the combinations, the greater the transformation.